Hi, I'm Dr. Jarek Conrad. Welcome to Healthy and Black, where I share information about the state of health for Black America across 7 categories, from emotional health to physical health. I became plant-based over 15 years ago after losing so many of my family members to chronic health issues. Now I want to help you take control of your health. All right, welcome to this episode of Healthy and Black. Today, I'm going to be talking about exercise. Now, some of you might love exercise, but we know a lot of people don't love it so much. In fact, only about half of Americans get the recommended amount of exercise that we need to be getting. So let's talk about that. Why is that? Why is it important? Some of this will be review. Exercise is important, but just why is it important? And what are the strategies we can use based on the latest research to increase the likelihood that we actually get it done, and we're not just talking about it or planning for it or complaining because we wanted to get it done, but we never did get it done. All right, so let's jump right in and let's talk about the benefits of exercise. And really, the benefits are incontrovertible. I mean, your mood is increased with exercise. The brain releases endorphins, these neurotransmitters that, make you feel good, give you more energy. So that's one piece. Now, obviously, making your bones and your muscles stronger is important. Improving your balance, especially for people as we age. You want to watch out for falls. So exercising, working out decreases the likelihood we'll have these falls. Weight control is the first thing that people think about, so it's really important. But let's come back. I want to talk a little bit more about weight and how we talk about and think about weight. Energy. So exercise, it's interesting how it works, right? It makes you tired while you're doing it, but it increases your level of energy over the long run. So the more exercise you get, the more energy you end up having. It improves sleep. We know how important sleep is. We know that the latest statistics say that 60% of Americans between 18 to 34 struggle with sleep every night or almost every night. I've talked in previous episodes about the importance of sleep and how, everything you did throughout the day, your body uses that sleep to kind of repair itself and get yourself ready for the next day. So critically important we get enough sleep. Exercise actually helps you get that sleep that you need. Sex. Exercise, think about it. It's improving your stamina. I talked about it giving you that energy, arousal. Exercise helps with that. And your physical appearance. So people start working out, they start feeling a little bit better about themselves and how they look, and they start feeling a little bit more attractive. So that's a part of it. Fellas, as you age, sometimes, you hear all those commercials on television about erectile dysfunction and what pills you need to take for it. The thing they don't talk about is exercise. Exercise actually helps you avoid ED. So maybe that should be your main reason to get out there and exercise. So again, we all know the benefits of exercise. And it's one of those things that once you start doing it, you get into a rhythm and a routine, and man, you just don't feel right when you're not doing it. This brings up a really important point about listening to your body. I talked about, in previous episodes, just how incredible the body is. I mean, it is a magnificent machine, and it just does a whole lot of work for us, despite what we do to it. And it gives us messages. It tells us what we need. So again, this whole energy thing, it gives you energy. So it's saying, keep doing that. That feels good. It releases these endorphins. Keep doing that. That feels good. That is pleasurable. So we have to develop this intimate relationship with our bodies so that we're listening to it. We know what it's telling us. I remember one of my old bosses hadn't worked out, hadn't done exercise in years, and then he started, doing a little weight training. He had a personal trainer, and he'd do a little weight training, some pretty light weights, and he'd be sore. And he said, "Well, I'm not supposed to be doing exercise because I'm sore, and it ain't good for me." And your body is saying, "Man, you need to do more of this. These little weights are making you sore. You're not in shape. You need to start doing this more regularly, and then you won't be as sore, and you can lift more weights, and you can lift more weights more times if you just do it a little bit more." So again, we have to start to understand what our bodies are telling us, and man, we're bad at this. Especially when the body is saying, "Slow down, stop." We don't listen to it. We push forward, and ultimately we have long-term problems. So we got to understand when the body is saying, "Keep going. You need to do this more." And the reason you're struggling with it is because you haven't done it enough. And you need to slow down this thing because this thing is dangerous. And I'm giving you warning signs to do it a different way because you're going to cause some long-term issues. So really understanding what your body is telling you. Even when you're eating, there's certain foods I can eat, and I don't know if it's psychological or what, but there's certain things, if I know it's not great for me, I don't feel well immediately. Like immediately, I'm like, man, that's not, and for me, I'm plant-based, so I don't eat a whole lot of bad stuff. But I don't do a whole lot of oils, for instance. And so even if it's something that has olive oil, but it's some heavy olive oil, as soon as I eat it, my body is like, man, what is that? I can't even process that. Like, you don't want to eat, anymore that I don't feel good. And so, I know to step back from that. So we got to start to listen to our bodies. Now, I said we come back to weight. Now, weight is a touchy subject, especially in the Black community, particularly when you're talking about Black women. And I have walked into rooms to give talks on health and wellness with a room full of Black women. And it's a scary thing because, because I don't want to say the wrong thing and get put up out of there, right? Uh, but listen, it, this weight thing, we know that excess body weight is tied to a whole host of health issues. Period. Overweight and obesity is highly correlated with all kinds of stuff. Now, does that mean that everybody who is overweight is going to have a chronic health issue? No. Does that mean that everybody who is at a great weight won't have a chronic health condition? No. Nothing is all or nothing, right? We have to play the averages. And when you look at the data, overwhelmingly, the data indicate that weight is highly correlated with these chronic health concerns. And that's all we can do. That's all we can go by. Most people who are overweight or obese are going to experience XYZ. Most of us are in the category of most people by definition. So this is not about appearance and, man, I like them thick, or, I like a little this or this. This is not about that. People can be attractive in all shapes and sizes, right? This is about trying to keep you healthy. So when we say, "Oh, those scales are made for white women," it doesn't really count. Well, if the Black women who have higher levels of overweight and obesity also have higher levels of diabetes and other health concerns, then those scales matter. It's an indicator of things to come. And so let's focus again on not just feel good or I look good or, real women have curves. So we all need to have a lot of body weight so we can be real women, obviously, because real women have diabetes and real women have heart disease. And real men, we sometimes we get proud, we get a little older, we get middle age, we start to get this belly, and we feel like, yeah, this is a rite of passage, right? And we play with our belly a little bit, it's that ain't cute, man. More importantly, that is not healthy. The subcutaneous fat, we get all this fat, kind of centered in this one area on our bodies, and we just take it for granted as we progress into middle age and as we get older that, we're supposed to have this gut and, we don't have to have that. So, I've talked about adults. What about kids? Our kids are getting bigger faster. And as they're getting bigger faster, they're developing what used to be adult kind of diseases at an earlier age. So this stuff is not cute. This is serious. So hopefully, I drilled the point home that it's not for me talking about, attractiveness and, appearance and what looks good, what doesn't look good. This is about what is healthy and what is not healthy. And my definition of healthy is, not having any chronic health issues or not taking any medications because I'm trying to control some avoidable health issue. Again, there are things that sometimes things don't go right. We may need medications to deal with, genetic kinds of things. And if that's the case, even more so, we need to be exercising and watching what we eat and trying to take care of ourselves so that we're not taking more medications because, we have these drug interactions. And in the last episode, I talked a lot about the side effects of medications. So we've talked about the benefits of exercise and how weight is a factor. Don't stress yourself out about weight. You could be, two people the same weight can have a completely different muscle mass, completely different body shape. You want to be able to fit into your clothes. And again, you want to have some muscle mass, right? You want that body mass index to be positive so that you're staving off these long-term health issues. So how much exercise do we need? Well, for a long time, the recommended daily allowance of exercise is about 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. I would target 30 minutes a day every day. I try. When people take off on the weekends, oh man, I'm going to take off on the weekends. That's when I have time to work out. So my weekend workouts are longer because that's the time that I can invest in my body. That is time investing in me. And so I definitely don't want to miss my workouts on the weekends. That's the time I can really take my time and get it done. Now, what do we need to be doing? Pushing, pulling, squatting, twisting, bending, lifting, stretching, and moving vigorously. Yeah, those are the things. Now, what's interesting is you don't need a gym for that. Now, nothing against gyms. If you have a gym membership and if it's working for you, that's great. I know a lot of people like the social atmosphere in a gym. They can go with somebody or they meet the people that they know, or they can do group classes together and all that. That is terrific if that is your thing. If that increases the likelihood that you'll actually get your workouts done, by all means, do that. But you don't have to have that. I had a Black lady tell me once, we don't go to the gym. We don't want to be in there with those skinny white women. First of all, all the white women in the gym ain't skinny. Second of all, if they were, they're skinny because they were at the gym. So go to the gym if you want to get skinny. But listen, again, you don't have to be at the gym. You can do all those things I talked about. Pull, push, squat, twist, bend, stretch, move vigorously. You can do all that stuff at home using just your body weight, with no weights, with no fancy equipment. You don't have to spend a lot of money buying a whole lot of stuff. Uh, when you think about it, the idea of a gym is a little bit strange when you think about it. So we all gonna go into this little box, this little building, and we're gonna work out really hard. We're just looking at each other working out really hard. We standing on a treadmill, we're running. We ain't going nowhere. We're running, looking around, we're running. We're doing all these things that we could be doing out in nature. You could run outside. Now, of course, it depends on where you live, your climate. Do you have open spaces and all that? But man, you got hills outside. You could be on those hills. You got trails outside. You can be on those trails. You got water out there. You could be out there in a canoe getting some exercises in. There's so many things that you can be doing outside and be getting the vitamin D that you need, and you be out there in nature, getting your workout in, but also taking in the beauty of what's out there, right? So if you're the kind of person who doesn't like to go to the gym, go outside. You get some things done outside. If the gym is working for you, go to the gym and get your workouts in. But don't forget about things around the house, mopping, sweeping, cleaning up, lifting stuff, putting it on shelves, carrying stuff around the house. All this is exercise. And in fact, be careful. You don't need all kind of fancy, I'm going to do backward flips and then I'm going to hang on this and then I'm going to do this while I do. You don't need all that stuff. Your exercises need to mimic moves that you do in everyday life so that those moves are easy for you to do, right? If you're getting older, you have grandkids, you want to be able to reach down, pick up your grandkid. Do that at the gym or do that at home. Reach down, pick up something, practice, how do I hold things in? Am I using my legs or am I using my back? Which, is dangerous if you're using your back. So I'm lifting stuff, putting it in the house. We complain that we got to do this stuff. That's exercise. That's our fitness for the day. We can use that as our exercise for the day. So again, there's so many things that you can do around the house with no equipment or just household items, and you can get that 30 minutes of exercise you need a day. Now, if you do go to the gym, though, there's one thing that I've always been curious about. I hear people sometimes say, man, I've been going to the gym for years and I just can't, my body looks the same. Well, you're probably not eating right. The gym alone ain't going to do it. The gym is not, I've worked out so I can eat all this other stuff. Why would you cancel out the benefit of you stay even if you cancel out the benefit of going to work out? So it's got to be done together. The other thing is, let's see, I'm overweight. I go in the gym. You think about this. The next time you go to, your gym, especially if it's a Y or something like that, community-based gym, you look at the treadmill. They're packed. A lot of overweight people on the treadmills doing their little, thing, right? You look over at the free weights or the machines. You see a lot of people, they got muscle, they work, they got muscle. You walk in, you look at them on the treadmill, you look at them over by the free weight. You want to get toner, firmer, you want to develop some muscle. So you can go get on the treadmill with the overweight people. Why wouldn't you do the thing that they did? Because they got some results. You said, well, I'm not strong. I've heard people say, listen, I can't do that because my arms are not strong. I don't do bicep curls because my arms are not just. Your arms are not strong because you don't do bicep curls. You got to start somewhere. So you start doing those, you build up the muscle and pretty soon you're able to progress, right? So nothing against, going out and getting a nice little run or something like that on the treadmill. Don't stand on there and just walk though. Walking is fine. Walk around the neighborhood. Don't go all the way to the gym and walk on the treadmill. walk around the neighborhood, walk around the house, walk up and down the stairs, do all that stuff. But, get a little bit more vigorous exercise if you're going to go to the gym. But that can't be it. That can't be it. So the daily allowance, again, is 30 minutes a day, but there's also a recommendation that at least a couple of those days, you're doing some kind of resistance training. So something involving some kind of weight. Again, it could be your body weight, doing push-ups. I travel a lot. And, oftentimes I get to where I'm going, odd hours late at night. I got to jump up and get to a meeting, go do a speech or something like that. I do push-ups. I'll do 50 push-ups real quick before I go to sleep. Or if I'm going to work out and I don't feel like going to the hotel gym, I'll do 100 push-ups before I go out on stage. I just try not to go days upon days without getting anything done. So I'll do what I can with what I have. I've used suitcases and things in a hotel room for resistance before because they're there and it doesn't have to be shaped like a weight and have a certain pounds, marked on it for it to be a good source of resistance training. So this is important. You know, here's another thing I want to talk about. Why are we not getting this done? Why is it that half of us are getting this exercise and half of us are not? We set ourselves up. We oftentimes we want everything to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to start January 1st. I'm going to go at this time every day. I'm going to do this particular routine. I'm going to wear these particular clothes. We set it all up and then life happens. Something happens that day that change your schedule and you can't go. And so you say, forget it. You end up not working out that day because it didn't align with the schedule you had set. And then it happens a couple other times a week. And then before you know it, it's two weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and you haven't worked out. And now it's been a month, so I don't work out anymore. So we got to be careful. The latest research suggests that trying to pick a routine is fine, but flexibility is even more important. And so if your workout is every day at 3:00, but all of a sudden you get a call from your school, you got to go pick up your kid that's not feeling good. Okay, you go get your kid, you do what you need to do. Why not that night before you go to sleep? Get that exercise in. Get that exercise in. It doesn't have to be at 3. Then you can pick up back at 3 the next day. What if the whole week you can't do 3:00 because you're at a conference or something like that? That shouldn't mean that your exercise routine goes on the shelf. You adjust. You adjust. So again, the research says that people who are more flexible and are able to do it at windows that they have, if their plan doesn't go well, are more likely over the course of 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, are more likely to have completed more exercise sessions than somebody that has a strict routine time. Because again, life comes at you fast and hard. You get sick, you don't feel quite well, and it's just very, very difficult. You get on the wagon, things happen, you get back off the wagon. Just take advantage of the times that you have. And again, look at exercise as an investment in yourself. It's not a time waster. It's an investment. So it's like, wow, I got this window. I don't have anything I have to do. Let me get a workout in. Because I know I'm going to feel much better after that. So again, think differently about working out and understand that it doesn't have to be perfect. People think that I spend hours and hours in the gym. I don't. I try to get 30 minutes in a day, and sometimes I can't do it because of, again, travel schedule or whatever it is. I usually try to slip something in, but if I miss a day, no big deal. I pick it up the next day. Over time, my body is so used to working out, even if I get sick and miss a week of working out, when I jump back in, I'm back in and my body's like, oh, there we are. We're back. And my brain sending signals all over. Hey, he's back. Let's get it done. So get your body into a routine. It's more important than ever. as you start to age, you start to get 30, you start to get 40, you start to get 50, this exercise becomes critical, but it has to be done with proper nutrition. In fact, proper nutrition and exercise increases your metabolism. Look, when you're eating well and you're working out, I'm sitting here right now burning calories. I'm burning calories because my body is in fat burning mode all of the time because of what I do, right? How I treat my body. A little anecdote. So I had to have knee surgery in March. College injury that I went 8 years and didn't have surgery. I beat it up. Finally, I had to have this major surgery on my knee. And so I was down for a while. I did rehab every day. By the way, I looked at that rehab as an opportunity to get both my legs stronger. So I did it every day. But, I couldn't do my regular, more vigorous exercise. And so what happens to people when they get laid up like that with an injury? They consume more calories, they burn fewer calories, they gain weight. I lost, I think it was 11 pounds or 13 pounds or something. I lost while I was laid up with knee surgery. I'm eating, I'm doing but my body works differently because of how I treat it. And I was able to recover from that real quickly, get right back into my workout routine. I had to work to put some weight back on, which, people think, oh my God, I wish I had that issue. But when you're a hard gainer, like I am, you hate that. But the point is, you can prepare your body to work differently than it is now, to process things differently than it is now, if you treat it properly. And so working out the 30 minutes a day, every day, doing the strength building, the muscle building, which comes with resistance, is critically important 2, 3, 4 times a week. And what if you can get your cardio in and get some resistance training in, every day? I mean, just think about how amazing you will feel over time. And again, your body will love you for it, and you'll experience all those benefits that we talked about. So that's exercise. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Jarek at jarekconrad.com. If I say something that you're listening to this and you're like, man, that's BS, I don't believe that, please reach out to me, because I want to be able to address that. And I want to be able to address the stuff that is holding you back. And so we talked a lot about nutrition. We've talked now a little bit about exercise. In future episodes, we're going to be talking about things like emotional health and mental health. And I want to talk about professional health, because I spent most of my career trying to help HR people build the kind of organizations that tended to people's health, that help people be more, to feel better, to improve their well-being, because I'm a firm believer that when people are well, they do well, they perform better, which is better for organizations. So stay tuned for those conversations. Thank you for joining this latest episode of Healthy and Black. Whether you're listening to the podcast or whether you're watching us on YouTube, please, like it, recommend it to your friends. And by the way, you see Human Like Me. This is a concept I came up with a few years ago. That, we're all in this together, right? Race, religion, gender, all that stuff. We're all human. And, we need to celebrate the things that we have in common. So if you go to my website at jarekconrad.com, I have some Human Like Me products. My vision is to have, hundreds of people from all backgrounds, shapes, sizes, different colors, different ages, some people wearing religious garb, some people not, having all these people wearing something that says Human Like Me to remind us of our shared humanity. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, don't let culture, cost, or convenience ruin your health. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Healthy and Black. I'm your host, Dr. Jarek Conrad. If you have feedback on today's episode, please email info@jarekconrad.com. I love to hear from you. Don't forget to visit jarekconrad.com to subscribe to my blog. Thanks for listening. Please tell your friends about the podcast. Until next time, don't let culture, cost, or convenience ruin your health.